On Saturday afternoons, children sometimes come into the cafe, so please do not recite any poetry or sing any songs that are going to be offensive to children. If the child is not in the cafe and you want to sing an offensive song or recite an offensive poem, please do not do that. I don't know when a child is going to walk into the cafe, okay? Also, cover charges no longer apply. Covers no longer apply. So you can sing a copyrighted song to your heart's content. And once again, in appreciation of the owners allowing us to recite poetry here every Saturday afternoon, it would be greatly appreciated if everyone would buy something to eat and something to drink. So we'll begin the reading. We'll have two poets read first, and then our selected poet and guitarist Johnny will come on. So first is going to be Buford.
Okay. You have to be nice to the people who love you, it's a rule. That's the title of the poem. We're not just putting our hearts on top of yours for fun. It's a tough life lived for the sake of getting together with you on occasional weekends and an odd weekday. If I don't try to stay in contact with you, I feel sad. If we don't have a good time, and fortunately that doesn't happen too often, I feel sad sometimes without you. Love is a messy proposition, whether I am with or without you. All right. Hairy intellectuals, this is called. You'll never get a job looking like that, someone tells the large, gentle poet with the beard and the ponytail. I tell him, you should get a job with the San Francisco Unified School District like Robert, Eddie, and I have. They need large males to help with the students. The large man with a soft voice looks thoughtful as the two other poets with the special ed teacher's aid job explain that the school district probably needs guys like him. He considers the possibilities of low-level teaching, the beginning steps of the intellectual downward slope. He may go downtown to Franklin Street to see if the public schools might need him. All right. I am a complete baseball nut, as most of you know, and this is about one of my experiences, a real interesting one. This is called A Woman with a Teenage Daughter. I think the pretty woman is the pretty teenager's mother. I suppose the mother asked me to keep my foot in place where the freestanding police-like metal guards were previously standing. She has dark hair and big brown eyes. A nice smile touches me on the arm and thanks me for holding her place as she comes back. My buddy, who is moved between the pretty woman and me to take the cell phone picture of us at the baseball park, suggests that I come back to the spot between him and the late 30s to early 40s woman. I leave the knothole area, and a woman comes up to me with her nice smile to tell me, good night. All right. Nice looking women and their good kids. Oh, here's another one. I had a good week as far as women in baseball. This is called Ballgame Woman. This is another one. After the Giants game, I walked with a pretty Nordic-looking woman named Tiffany along the Embarcadero. At first, I told her goodbye at the front of the ballpark, patted her on the arm, then ran into her again on my way out of the park, passing the big ballpark clock with fans filling out after a late win, too late to make the playoffs, as they have in 2 of the 3 last years, of course, in World Series wins. She smiled a lot, but the smile looked angry. The woman has this golden hair, very thin, maybe 30 to 35 years old. She and I walked as 2 cops looked up toward the Bay Bridge. Then this rescue boat came up. A homeless man said someone threw something off the bridge. She said if someone jumped off the bridge, he or she would be carried by the current underneath this cargo boat or the fire station there. I said I needed to catch a bus that might be the next one, the last one for the night, so I could get home to bed for the next day when I was going to get up at 6:30. She said she was a widow and that her husband had been murdered. And the people who murdered her husband started having bad luck. Their karma got screwed up, she said, a look of sad irony on her face. Okay, how much time do I have left?
Okay, we got 5 more minutes.
Oh, awesome, okay. All right. Wednesday was not a good day. That's the name of this. What did I expect, it being 9/11/13, the 12th anniversary of both the bombing of the United States by Arab terrorists, and shortly before that, that infamous 2000 date, the end of my 19-and-a-half-year marriage. I just realized I was giving away a portion of my age, that it's been 31 plus years since I was first married. Being that my stepdaughter Tina is now pushing 41 years old and has a 6-year-old daughter, and that I'm about to reach, if I'm very, very lucky, Lennon and McCartney's famous song title, When I'm 64. What happened on Wednesday, I'm having a hard time remembering exactly what it is now. Early stability. Yeah. But basically, I took over the second half of the Wednesday night Sacred Grounds reading after talented poet Stephanie Manning took off for her friend's house. I should have tackled her, or at least begged her not to leave. A couple of the poets acted as my father would have said, putting their rear ends on their shoulders, not really rear ends, but we're being, nicer. Obviously a very ugly sight. Dan Brady is brave to have taken over for Johanna Wedgwood when the talented poet died. One poet was being belligerent and sat way too close to me and fussed with the timer, while another shaved-headed poet giggled inappropriately about the situation as well as chiming in with insults. I appreciate Dan and his leadership now even more. Okay. Let's go back a little. It's a fun job. Let's do a little positive stuff. It's a fun job, but extremely tiring. Kids, teenagers really demand but give back bonding with us, almost adoration in some cases. They are not teenagers in the regular sense, not in the mainstream, though they are mainstream with what are immature students, freshmen in high school, who should probably populate a previous form of education known as junior high school, the 7th through 9th grade, where they would be the, quote, seniors to the 7th graders. Here, the classroom teachers chide them for their lack of grown-upness, a silly, giggling, quote, norm, unquote. It's a fun job where I've learned to sleep in on weekends, whereas all my previous life I've been an early riser. The big, wonderful, demanding students asking for guidance by their very beings. I like this poem, so I'm going to read this. It's called Complicated. It's complicated. Now, other people don't quite understand us in our platonic long-term relationship. He basically in love with you and your bubbly intelligence, your interest in clairvoyance, your unwavering but hands-off interest in me. At the Giants baseball game and good seats along the third base line in the second tier, you stand up and frequently cheer in this make-up game doubleheader as the struggling Giants win 1 of 2, and your thriving spirit with your nonetheless difficult life sits beside me. You mentioned the problem of my still being in love with my ex-wife 12 years after we'd broken up. At least for me, gone through a heartbreaking divorce. After being married 19.5 years. She's moved on, you say. Sparkle in your big perceptive eyes. You need to. last night as you walk across 19th Avenue, and after we've seen a movie and eaten together, I look to see you and it's dark, and somehow I lose track of you among the people who are standing at the bus stop, like you just disappeared. And I couldn't figure out if you wanted to spend more time together or not.
Yeah. Okay, and our next one is Robert.
Okay, I'll be up there just a second.
Robert, can you use the mic? Are you listening?
Yes. You say talented poet twice.
Oh, okay. So I'll look at the things. Robert.
The adjectives, I guess. I don't know.
All right.
Excellent.
Well, now that, ooh, love it. It's probably better than what I'm going to read. Now that I no longer have an after-school student, I've been getting off at 2:30 and going straight home and just writing until basically bedtime. So I wrote 11 poems this week.
Whoa.
And a couple of them I think are among the best I've done.
Thank you.
Awesome.
This one is not a particular favorite, but I just love it when Owen says, "This is my most recent poem."
Oh, yeah.
So, here is my most recent poem, which I wrote about an hour ago.
All right.
This is called Planet of the Apes. In dreams, I still see vividly the brutish simian snout, raised rifle, darkness of the rearing charger. I was 11, both terrified and fascinated by the film's depiction of a world that, in the pervasive stench of its casual brutality, was not dissimilar to our own. As you guys know, I work, as Buford does, as a special education paraprofessional for the school district. And yesterday, I was assisting in a science class where the kids were given by the substitute teacher a handout on wolves. That was a short article that had activities and things on the back of the sheet. And the first activity said, try to write a story or poem using the vocabulary words. And I thought, oh, there's no way I'm not going to do this myself. The words were tundra, knoll, stalking hares like rabbits, dominant, litter, packs, and there might have been one other. Anyway, they're all in here. This is called the Tundra. I've never been to the Tundra, claim no kinship with a wolf atop some lonely knoll, howling beneath the veined stare of the moon. Perhaps to cousins stalking elk, or in leaner times, snow hares invisible against the frozen stubble, save as sudden, terrified movement. I am not the dominant male who alone fathers progeny and fends off pretenders. I've never stood guard over a litter of pups, still blind and hairless at sub-zero night. My own hair is soft and silvery, not the coarse fear that shields packs against the deepening winter. But my eyes, doubtless the legacy of some forgotten northern ancestor, are the pallid blue of glaciers.
Yeah. Yeah, Robert. Come in, Robert. Come in.
Ah, thank you. This one is one of the ones that I really like. I've been working on this idea for about 20 years, and it just kind of came out the other day. This is called Listening for Planes, 1917. My grandfather, who fought at Ypres, said many years later he memorized the whines of aircraft engines overhead, distinguishing Spad from Fokker, distinctive pitches of friend and foe, since to look up even for an instant was to expose the pallor of flesh beneath the doughboy helmet, an open invitation to pilots who still flew low enough to aim a pistol or a bomb with deadly accuracy. What? World War I, correct. My grandfather lived through it, by the way. All right, Buford's always reading poems about working at the school. Here's one of mine. This is called Absurdity for Drum and Glockenspiel. While I've never actually seen the offending instrument, I've heard it often enough. The high metallic stammer of the glockenspiel, like the oddly disturbing song of some solitary child, wafting out of the JROTC room, accompanied by a single faltering drum, as I leave campus by a basement door at the end of the school day. This afternoon's no different, save for the fact that something vaguely familiar about this mutilated music makes me pause for a moment on the threshold, searching my memory. All at once I have it. Here is the transcendence of Jesu, joy of man's desiring, more suited to fluted columns and stained glass, reduced in youthful hands to the merely mundane, the melody stumbling earnestly toward a heaven that at the moment seems more remote than ever. This is called Moonrise, Early September, and it has an epigraph which is a quote from a Paul Simon song, and the lines from the song read, "If you want to write a song about the heart, think about the moon before you start." Moonrise, early September. On an ordinary evening meaning nothing apart from whatever we bring to it, for one particularly striking instant, the lunar seas resembled a handprint, as though the ripened moon were a stone someone had grasped and thrown clear of the horizon rotten with twilight, into a sky where the first stars, after images dead for millennia, were stubbornly beginning to appear. And a little historical poem, also an idea I've had for a long time. This is called Tulips. Delicate chalices brimming with sunlight, petals translucent as blown glass, these red and yellow blossoms are vibrant as the feathers of exotic birds. Beautiful, yes, but in the 17th century, difficult though it is these days to believe, the cause of a mania in the Netherlands that brought old families to blows, gunpowder and drawn swords, fortunes gone in an instant, a single bulb more than sufficient for dowry. How am I doing on time?
You have 2 minutes.
Oh, all right. This is probably going to take slightly more than 2 minutes, but I may be
That's
able to
okay,
do
you
it.
can do that.
This one actually I sent Barbara the other day. This is, well, we had stopped off after the reading to see a dog that Barbara knows. And, you know, see a dog about a man or something like that. And this got me to thinking about the dog that I had. And this is called Running Ahead. At 14, the old mongrel's hips had gone. He dragged his hindquarters behind him like unclaimed baggage, as though rear legs and tail belonged to another dog, perhaps the young mutt in pictures who jumped straight into the air to catch a frisbee in his teeth. His eyes, the mottled brown of his fur, were clouded with cataracts. His vision, never good, rapidly diminishing. Hang on, more. Much more. The night they put him down, I was 26, still young at nearly twice his age. But it was hard not to see in the random twitch of those dying limbs warnings of what my own body was already beginning to become. Some nights I imagine him, now 30 years gone, spry again and running ahead down a wooded path at night under a dimly starred sky, looking back from time to time to be sure I'm following. Thank you. By the way, 30 years later, I still own Frisbees and they all have teeth marks.
Perfect. All right. Okay, thank you, Robert. And now, our selected poet and guitarist, Johnny.
Okay, so in the interest of time, I've thrown some songs together into medleys. So the first medley has 2 new songs in it, actually. One of which is Barbra's Oops song. That's what we're starting off with.
Cool.
Yeah. And then I'll wait to change papers in between. Okay, here we go. Ha ha ha. Oh, yes. One more.
There she is, the old.
Yes, Shauna gets to come out for a bit of activity. Features deserve Shauna, or selected performances. She gets to come out. Okay, here we go. Oh, I should tell you. So anyway, the first one's named Oops, and then one of my current favorites is No Strings Attached. So that's in the middle here. And then the last new song is a song called The Politician's Credo. That's the name I finally decided on, and it's basically kind of a tongue-in-cheek satire of what a politician should really say when he's running for election.
I must come back.
Get a lighter.
There we go. You can say oops if you're a dentist and watch your patient squirm, or say oops if you're a researcher who's lost a deadly germ. An obstetrician might say oops when a baby comes to term. A little oops is no big deal, that's something we can learn. Just say oops when you think you've got a problem. Saying oops is the perfect way to solve them. Say oops when you need a quick escape. Saying oops avoids a lot of red tape. By the way, at every oops you can sing along, and there's also a sing-along part right here, so join in. Just say oops when you think you've got a problem. Just say oops when you think you've got a problem. Just say oops when you think you've got a problem. Just say oops when you think you've got a problem. You can say oops to the IRS when you avoid paying your tax. A politician might say oops when he mistakes his lies for facts. The mortician can say oops when he's caught selling body parts. And an elevator is the perfect place for oops when someone farts. Just say oops when you think you've got a problem. Saying oops is the perfect way to solve them. Say oops when you need a quick escape. Saying oops avoids a lot of red tape. A public speaker might say oops if he mutters, and a performer can say oops when she stutters. A singer-songwriter says oops in many keys, and a panhandler knows his oops will work for free. Oh, just say oops when you think you've got a problem. Say oops is the perfect way to solve them. Say oops when you need a quick escape. Say oops avoids a lot of red tape. Sing along. Say oops when you think you've got a problem. Say oops when you think you've got a problem. Say oops when you think you've got a problem. Say oops when you think you've got a problem. Well, you surely got some oopses of your own. You can send them by email or telephone. Conveniently, an oops will fit most any space, and oops is politically correct in every place. Just say oops when you think you've got a problem. Say to solve up. Say oops when you need a quick escape. Say oops avoids a lot of red tape. Found an old guitar at the second-hand store. Neck seemed straight, body was sound, couldn't ask for more. A little crack on the back, easily patched. And as you might have guessed, no strings attached. No strings attached, that's the way I like to live. No expectations on the things I've gotta give. No reservations, no regrets, no looking back. Like that old guitar, no strings attached. Sing along. No strings attached. No strings attached. You can shadow it. No strings attached. No strings attached. No strings attached.
No strings attached.
No strings attached.
No strings attached.
No strings attached.
No strings attached.
Like that old guitar. No strings attached. Saw a pretty girl that very same night. Beautiful face, mind and body couldn't be more right. I went up and asked her out, as simple as that. And she said, I'll pay my own way, no strings attached. No strings attached, that's the way I like to live. No expectations on the things I've gotta give. No reservations, no regrets, no looking back. Like that old guitar, no strings attached. Like that old guitar, no strings attached. Well, both the girl and that guitar are still with me. The three of us live together quite happily. I guess that through it all we've become well matched. Thanks to starting off, no strings attached. No strings attached, that's the way I like to live. No expectations on the things I've gotta give. No reservations, no regrets, no looking back. Like that old guitar, no strings attached. No strings attached, that's the way I like to live. Like that old guitar, no strings attached. Woo. Well, I want to stop all the wars by starting a few more, but they've got to be the ones that I can win. And when I've conquered everything, I will declare myself the king and put an end to all this political bickering. Because I am smarter than you. I can solve any problem and tell you what to do. So if you pledge your allegiance to me, I'll let you keep pretending you are free. I intend to vanquish inequality by making mediocrity the standard to which everyone aspires. And once I've lowered that high bar and you're content the way you are, I will become the social mentor you admire. Because I am smarter than you. I've got a Mensa acceptable IQ. If you relinquish all control to me, I let you keep pretending you are free. Let's try to sing along on this. Here we go. Because I am smarter than you. That's it. Because because I am smarter than you. I promise to promote, same thing I did the other time. I promise to promote profitability and economic clarity by giving all the money to the banks. Because they are too big to fail, no CEOs end up in jail. Such a success story surely deserves our thanks. Because I am smarter than you. I've got the keys to the kingdom and can make my lies sound true. If you capitulate and bow down to me, I let you keep pretending you are free. Because I am smarter than you. Because I am smarter than you. Vote for me. There we go. Selections number 1. Now we're going to selections number 2.
I'm not quite as smart as you, Johnny.
Oh, no, it's not me. Politicians. Remember, that's the tongue-in-cheek what politicians really need to say to you.
Yeah.
If you have political speak, that's the crap they're really saying.
I have a higher IQ than Barack Obama.
Yeah, I believe it. I mean,
I'm happy about that. That makes me feel good.
Okay, here we go. These are all familiar ones now. All good sing-alongs, too.
I'm sure you do.
Got a job at Walmart. Get to stand at the door. Greet all the customers when they enter the store. May not get paid much, but that's not why I'm there. As a store associate, I get to show how much I care. People bring their kids in, let them all go wild. Whoever got rid of spankings probably never had a child. They run all over, knocking everything down, and leave the store crying, kicking, screaming, spazzing out, and wearing a frown. Sing along! Got a job at Walmart. 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 Got a job at Walmart, but it's only part-time, 'cause they don't give benefits to unskilled positions like mine. They may not pay much, but they've taught me a lot, like how to get food stamps or find a free clinic if I need a shot. Items from China and Bangladesh give you a selection international for very little cash. If you can't afford much, you're in the right location, 'cause everything at Walmart is made in some third world nation. Sing along! Got a job at Walmart. 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 Got a job at Walmart, and I think it's just great. With a Mickey D's in the house for lunch, I don't need a plate. And if I'm ever lonely, I'll just stop you on the way out and scrutinize every last item on your bill to see what you're about. Got a job at Walmart. Got a job at Walmart. iPhone, iPad, it's all about attitude. My products reach beyond all the